Welcome back to Rhythm Guitar Book 2. This book focuses on open chords, strumming, and fingerstyle patterns. You can watch all these videos for free, but it's going to be a lot easier to learn if you have your own copy of Rhythm Guitar 2 that you can read from and write in. So I'll leave a link in the description. We're on pages 60 and 61, and we have two new rhythm charts for practicing your new chords, comping patterns, and DS and DC markings. On page 60, we have number R96. This one is in common time, same as 4/4 time. And before we do anything else, just look through it for any kind of repeats, road maps, that sort of thing. At the end of the fourth line, you can see there's a DC al coda. Remember, a DC takes you back to the beginning, and then we play to the 2 coda marking. So we go back to the top. Our 2 coda marking is at the end of the second line, and then from there, we jump to the coda, which is the last 2 lines. It's all slashes all the time, except for the very last measure, where we have a whole note and a fermata. So that means we can play some patterns. And we have 3 new patterns that we can use in common time or 4/4 time from page 55. One of them is our default pattern, down, down, up, down, but with a bass. So bass, down, up, down. And the other 2 are fingerstyle patterns. One is the PMIA in quarter notes. And the other is the same pattern, PMIA, except in 8th notes. And if you need to review any of those, just go back to page 55. When I do the play along, I'm only going to play that strumming pattern. But as we go through this rhythm chart, I'm going to switch patterns so you can hear how each pattern will sound. So at the beginning, let me grab my pick. At the beginning, we have a C chord, and again that strumming pattern to a C7. So you just have to put your pinky down to make it a C7. Bass, down, up, down to an F chord. Remember, C7 and F have very similar shapes. These 2 fingers from the C7 chord just need to move over a little bit. So bass, down, up, down. Next line we have a C again, very similar shape to the F. C7 again, just put your pinky down. And then 2 measures of D minor. I'm going to switch over to the quarter note PMIA pattern now for our 3rd line. So we have PMIA. When we're playing quarter notes, that only lasts for 1 measure. C7 again, so just put your pinky down. F chord and G7. A minor for 2 measures. G7 again for 2 measures. From this point, we have that DC al coda, so where you would jump back to the beginning and then play those first 2 lines until you see the 2 coda marking. Let's pretend we did that, and let's just jump to the coda now. And I'm going to play that faster PMIA pattern now. So we have a C chord and we're playing 8th notes. C7. F, G7, D minor, A minor, G7. And there's a retard written there, so you can slow down and then play a C chord at the end. As I mentioned before, I'm only going to play this 1 time through, and I'm going to use the strumming pattern, the bass, down, up, down pattern. But I do recommend practicing this with all 3 patterns so you can get used to all of them. I'm going to play it at quarter equals 100. I urge you to play along with the video so you can practice keeping a steady tempo, or you can play to a metronome so you can choose your own tempo, faster or slower. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. the top. To the coda. And retard. At the top of page 61, we have R97. It's in common time and it's marked andante, which is kind of medium slow. As we look through this, no slashes. It's all rhythms, so you don't have to worry about any kind of comping pattern. Just strum whatever rhythms you see. We have some dotted rhythms that we'll talk about. Look for road maps. We have a DS al fine marked at the end. Remember, if it's a DS, you look for the sign. In this one, the sign is at the beginning of the second line. And it's a DS al fine, so you're going to be looking for the fine bar, which in this case is at the end of that second line. Let's look at some of these chords and rhythms. We have a D minor at the beginning, and our rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, 4. It's got that dotted note. So remember to strum upwards on that eighth note that follows the dotted quarter. Down, up, down. A7, same rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, 4. And for this A7, I recommend playing fingers 2 and 3. Makes it easier to get back and forth between that and the D minor. The third measure, D minor again, and we have a dotted rhythm with some eighth notes following it. So that's going to be 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then just a whole note. Similar rhythms in the second line, D minor, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and C, same rhythm, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Again, watching that strumming direction, down, up, down. Then A7, I'm going to play with fingers 2 and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 4 to our D minor, 2, 3, 4. Then we have an F chord, 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 on a G, so that'll be down, up, down, up, down. Next measure we have an F chord. Notice there's a dotted rhythm at the end of this measure, so that's going to be 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 1. Again, up strum on that single eighth note. Fourth line we have a C, 1 and 2, 3, 4, D minor, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. A7, same rhythm as the F that you played in the line above. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. From that point, we have the DS, so you jump back to the sign, and then you stop at the fine bar. I'm going to play this one time through at quarter equals 85. I always encourage you to play along with the video so you can work on keeping a steady tempo, or play to a metronome so you can choose your own tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Back to the sign. And there's our fine bar, so we stop. Your assignment is to practice the charts on pages 60 and 61. Make sure you follow those DC and DS markings and play your new comping patterns whenever you can. As always, work on keeping a steady beat by playing along with the video or play to a metronome so you can choose your own tempo. Once you're comfortable with these charts, I'll see you on page 62 for some more charts.